So this is just a reminder that God qualifies the unqualified. So when I was called to be a Christian studies major, I hadn't even been saved 6 months, I don't think. So I was relatively new for Christianity, but God, and I ran from it. I ran from the calling, but God chased me down. And so I became a Christian studies major because God made it clear over and over and over again that He was calling me to be a Christian studies major. So I became a Christian studies major in college. And the first 2 weeks, I went and I realized I know absolutely nothing about the Bible. And I was like, I don't know why God called me to this. I said, I'm dropping out. I'm going back home. I was like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know anything about the Bible. I was like, I misunderstood God's calling by a mile because I know nothing about this. I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm surrounded by these guys who are pastors' sons who knows everything about the Bible, and they just know so much more than me. I'm like, I'm wrong. God did not call me this. I prayed that night. I said, God, I'm going back home. I'm not staying here because I have no idea what I'm doing here because I know absolutely nothing about the Bible. I misunderstood your calling. I'm going home. Well, the next day I wake up, I go to class because even though I'm planning to go back home and transfer to a different college, I'm functioning to go to class. I'm like, I have to go to class. Well, the class I had that day was actually Old Testament survey. And what we were talking about was the burning bush. If you're not familiar with the burning bush, that's where God comes to talk to Moses, and he says, you're going to lead my people out of Egypt. Well, Moses rejects God's calling multiple times. He's making all these excuses. So the final excuse he says is, he says, God, I can't speak. I'm not a good speaker. I can't do this. And God was patient throughout all of Moses' excuses. And then finally God he doesn't snap, but he's like, who makes it where man can speak? Who makes it where man can hear? Me. I am the all-powerful God. I'm the God who rules the universe. If I say you can speak, you can do it. So I'm sitting there, and I'm hearing this, and I'm seeing me running from God all these times before I finally land where I'm supposed to be, where I'm in a Christian studies major as God called me. So I'm thinking about Moses. He's like, I'm not qualified to do this because I can't speak. And here I am saying, I'm not qualified to do this because I don't know anything about the Bible. And God tells Moses, he says, if I say you can do it, if I'm with you, you're going to be able to do it. So it's kind of God comforting me, saying, if I say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Because I don't know why I was so stressed about it, because I was in that major to learn. God doesn't call the qualified. He calls the unqualified, and he qualifies them. And the longer Moses was the leader over Israel, he gained more confidence, not in his own ability, but because God was working through him. It wasn't about Moses' inability. It was about God's ability. So just remember, God qualifies the unqualified.